welcome to On Brand, episode 1. Today we have Greenpoint Media's
Episode
good
one.
mate. Episode 1.
I feel honoured, mate.
No worries. Great to have you. So, welcome to On Brand, as I've said. We've got Cliff Ho, founder of The Commons, today joining us for Ep 1 of On Brand. How's things, Cliff? What's been happening in your world?
Interesting times. Well, it is, as we speak, the government's just come out with 190 plus cases in Melbourne, which we're based. So, it's been an interesting time for everyone, I think, COVID-wise, and especially for the Commons. Definitely a difficult time for us, but we're up for a challenge, and we'll definitely get through the other end. But yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries. So, how have things been shifting for you guys? So, what have you done internally? What things have you seen with your member base, with just your business in general?
Look, the initial knee-jerk reaction happened in March, and we did see a lot of smaller businesses, I guess, kind of work from home, move out.
Well, that was the message from the government, right? They were pushing that.
Basically, yeah, work from home, and they still are doing that, which is frustrating for us because we've got locations across Melbourne and Sydney, especially on the fringe, which means we've got people that live next door to the Commons, one of our locations, so they could ride to work, go into work, but people were scared to come in because of government orders. Even though we are seeing a big return to the office from a lot of our members, our Sydney location's doing really well, so it's probably a good indication of what things are going to be like in Melbourne once we get on top of COVID. Yeah. Majority of our members have returned to work in Sydney, but Melbourne, you look around the offices now, people are still working from home. But we've been really fortunate. Members have supported us through this time as well. We've supported our members, and we'll get out the other end of other side of this, I guess.
So what do you see happening in your industry? Do you see, obviously there's going to be a trend for people working from home. It's happening in our business,
yes.
Permanently even.
Damn
moving
you.
forward. Well, we'll scale up in the Commons, right? So, so how do you see it impacting those broader trends? We've got large commercial building owners. How do you see those things shifting, and what do you think it means for co-working?
I think with media, it's so extreme. Everything we see and read, it's sort of like, here's the death of the office space, or there's going to be no more economy class when you fly. But I personally don't think it's going to be that extreme. There is a need for an office space. But
a flexible office space, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, with the data that we've seen, we've been able to sign up a lot of offices of the downturn market. So during the GFC, co-working was sort of, born through the GFC. People downsizing, wanting flexible office space. We're seeing that now. Yeah. We're going through a recession. People don't want to take on long-term leases. Like your team, you're not going to want to sign a 3-year lease, fit it out anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So we're seeing definitely a decentralized type workplace, but there is a need for an office space. We've done multiple surveys throughout our members, yep. And it just shows by the amount of members that are sticking by the Commons and still coming in, or holding onto an office space because they know they want to get back to this, because it was almost a novelty at the start to work from home. Yeah. It's like, okay, we get to work from home, and this is nothing new, in my opinion. Slack, it's been around, Skype. Zoom, Skype's been around for 20 years. It's like there's nothing new here, and most of our members, they're all the small, medium-sized businesses. They do work remotely, and they do just want flexible space, but they come to a place like the Commons because they grow their business, they can network, and it's a fun, exciting, and inspiring place to work. Now, if you just imagine a culture or a time where you finish university, you do your job interview over a Zoom call, you start your job over a Zoom call. How do you meet anyone? I think the AFR came out with a really good survey the other day that most people under the age of 30, have high anxiety and they want to get back to the office. They feel lonely now. They're trapped because you make a lot of your friends through the corporate world. Yeah. Different if you have kids and you're a lot older and you've kind of gone through that. You can work remotely and you can work from home. But for me, this remote working or working from home has been around. We've experienced that. We've got a lot of members that used to work from home and they've come to the Commons. Yeah. So it's nothing new for us, and we're definitely, I think that narrative's more around your large footprint, your banks, your NABs, your ANZ, take 20,000 employees. Yeah. If you've got project-based work, you can do that at home. Yeah. But if you're collaborating, and most of the businesses in the Commons, we cater for creative businesses, right? Yeah. You want to be in a boardroom like this. You want to kind of have those little serendipity moments around the water cooler or go to an inspiring place to work. So we think Commons, ticks those boxes, and we're definitely in the right position to kind of scale up once we get past this pandemic. To capture that downsizing market and people that really just want to grow their business, and all the new businesses that are going to come out of this. So
totally. You mentioned like co-working being born throughout a financial crisis, and like that kind of disrupted the commercial office space market. I'm sort of seeing another disruption coming, like you said, larger businesses having to, or looking at different ways to scale their footprint down. Like how's that going to impact the design of office spaces now? You look at like, even a brand taking a lease on a larger space. Are they going to start creating more like common areas, less desk space, more flexible desks? Like even in those more traditional leases, I can see a bit of a, a change to the way those things are traditionally done.
Like, I could be wrong, but I think humans are quick to forget. If there's no COVID tomorrow, and you can go out to the pub, you can go to music festivals, you'll be quick to forget, and there'll be no social distancing. So, right now, hot desking, people don't want hot desking. You want your dedicated spot. We're lucky most of our offices and the products that we offer are offices and dedicated desks. So we are catering towards that. But, sorry, cut. I forgot what you were saying.
No cuts, mate. No cuts. Just about how offices will be designed and like, the changing kind of landscape there. Because you guys have like, it's always been about, customer-centric approach for you guys, design thinking, all those kind of things. Like, do you see the bigger corporate offices starting to take on some of those, like, I guess the trends that you guys in co-working have started?
Yeah, I think potentially be less footprint for larger teams to take on, such big floor plates. And they might want to come to more flexible spaces. It could be something like, we might have, a team where we've got 1,000 staff, but then here's a pass that you can go into any of the Commons locations.
It's a huge difference.
You can come together in our main corporate head office, but if you want to work from home, you can. But if you don't want to work from home, because some people can't, and you don't want to commute into the city, but you live in Collingwood, cool, I'll just go to the Commons in Collingwood. And we're sort of seeing that. And then in terms of design for, it changing, I guess it's more for the landlords. I think they were already shifting to this, where they were giving more flexible space in terms of the common area, the end of trip facilities area is almost becoming, here's the meeting room so you can all share.
So, and you I guess you guys have always been about that, like direct communication to your members and really open, transparent kind of marketing. How do you see, like, just in terms of how brands need to shift their messaging now, or how are you guys shifting your messaging to make people feel safe to come back to offices? Like, what initiatives are you running? Obviously, we're interested in how the power of brands. Like, so 2-part question: how have you guys shifted your message? And then on the back end of that, how important is brand in, maintaining all the expansion plans you have beyond COVID? So, you've spent a lot of energy building brand awareness. And speak about that.
I mean, branding is so important for the Commons, and I think what makes a great brand is sort of where your values sit, and at the top of that for us is putting our members first. We've always, that was always sort of our priority. So when COVID hit, the first thing we did was reach out to every single member. We didn't do a blanket approach and send an email out to everyone just saying, here's a spam email, everything's going to be okay. No, we got on the front foot and called up every member, nice. Who had the best relationship with that member, and we were there to support. We had some members that are on 2-year contracts with us, and for us it was about understanding their industry, how they impacted, and we said, we'll support you if you support us on the back end. So even though they're contracted to come in, but we still had shown a lot of empathy, but we know a lot of goodwill and around branding as well is also created through COVID, through this time, through a time of crisis. So we believe we've gone above and beyond, and we've definitely taken a huge hit through this, but we think long term, I would be confident to say that any member that has been with the Commons during COVID, the way we've handled it, I think we've handled it really well in terms of communication, supporting our members through this, in terms of financial support, getting them back, Obviously, we've done other things like, our classes, virtual classes, getting people in.
I've seen I'm on the Commons email list.
Yeah, it's sort of like, there's ways we're doing meditation and we're still bringing people together. Now people coming back to the office, we're gently reintroducing them to the office space. Obviously, we're putting a huge amount of measures, but yes, we've done all those things like all businesses have done COVID-wise, but we still want it to feel like the Commons when you come in. People are very aware of what's going on out there. Everyone has to be reintroduced to the Commons and how to act when you're in here, but we don't want it to be a sterile environment. It's still the Commons. You still are motivated to come to work. And that's the thing right now. People are staying in their pajamas. They're not motivated. We know when members are coming back in, they're like, thank God we're back to the Commons. I feel motivated. I can get on with it. Push the economy again. So
yes. So moving into more of that commercial discussion as well. I mean, recently we saw some, there's lots of doom and gloom media coverage around, every element of the economy at the moment. But we saw the AFR, an article in the AFR talking about landlords potentially trying to take a slice of revenue for rent relief. There's all these different kind of strategies or ideas out there about how businesses and landlords can kind of work together. Like, what's your take on some of that stuff?
It's a tricky one. I mean, they have to. I mean, you look at the product, but that's more retail, I guess. Retail was always suffering, but the rents were too high, in my opinion. But I don't think they should take a cut.
And such locked in so hard to those contracts.
I think for me, the way I've seen retail is more of a showroom for your brand. So you don't need 100 and something stores. It's really just like, okay, I'll go to this Nike experience store, and you make it more around that. But I think landlords do have to either lower their rents or do something to help retail get back at it. If you're losing money, how's it going to work for anyone? It's not going to work. So I think that's pretty straightforward. But I do get it from the landlord's point of view. But they have to change. We all have to adapt right now.
I mean, that's a huge part of what every brand's needing to do: strategy, comms, marketing.
I mean, at the end of the day, people want flexibility. I think that's the key right now. There's so much uncertainty. I mean, that's where we think we're fortunate, and we're definitely seeing an up. And signing up a lot of offices, and we're seeing that downturn market, and we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. That we know once there isn't COVID, people do want to come back. There is definitely the narrative of what the media is saying, work from home. We know that there's so many people that just go, I can't. I don't want to work from home.
It works for some.
We'll have a balance. Maybe 2 days a week we'll go, but we still need an office space. We still want to come together.
Exactly, and we're seeing that across the board. You've got some fairly big expansion plans. Any impact from COVID on how you guys are looking at the future of the business, or is it still all systems go?
I mean, we always ran pretty conservative, you know, and it was sort of like fill a space up, consolidate, go again. So we've had Cremorne on the cards for years, and finally we're actually in the middle of the construction, so that will be opening October 19th. That's going ahead, but we know there's so much demand in Cremorne, and especially the fit out we got there, it's just going to blow everyone away. We've already signed up. We're doing a huge amount of stuff. So, rooftop terrace and beer garden and all sorts of things. But we've signed up a lot of members pre-sale, which has been fantastic. So that's going ahead. We're actually close to signing a new venue. So we're actually looking to expand because we're seeing the demand for the downsizing market. So we've got enough confidence in our industry that we can go out and look for new sites. It has made us shift in the way we think. After COVID hit, within a week we moved to virtual office straight away. So we had a product on the website, and we've already signed up.
Adapted really fast.
Adapted really quick, because we know people working from home, but they still need a mailing address. They still need people to handle their admin. So we've taken care of that. So we've added a new product there. We've been working on our technology, as you know. You're on our app where you can book meeting rooms. It handles accounts, live floor plans, on how to manage physical space. So what we're working on now is on selling our technology to other co-working spaces, but also to landlords. How you can produce more revenue within your site. How to manage your site as well. So we're going to that facilities management co-working platform where... so which we'll announce soon, and we've really built that out, and we think it's the most powerful tool on the market by far. We've looked at all the different management tools, software that's out there to help run a space like this, and there's nothing out there that did it to the level of detail.
They wouldn't have been built by people running them.
Exactly right. So we think it's so powerful, and it would suit any landowner, any landlord, I guess, to bring in more revenue streams and streamline that process for tenants.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Cliff. Sounds like there's lots of interesting stuff going on with the Commons, and I know you've just had a baby too, so thanks for taking some time out.
2020 it's a crazy year, but
it is
you know what? I think the good thing that come out of 2020, if we can all survive this, which we've got to remain positive, right? If we can survive this, we can look back on these times, and it just makes us so much more resilient. We know that that's a buzzword right now, but it's true, and it has been tough. Yes, having a newborn baby, the first one, a lot of sleepless nights, but we're pretty lucky to be in Australia. We've had a lot of support from the government. I look at my wife's business in Asia. It's no support there, and we're very fortunate to be where we are. So let's be grateful and let's get on with it. COVID's hitting again. We've got a second wave, but let's stay positive. And
we've got about 40 minutes of freedom left by the sounds of
then we're in
things.
lockdown. So, but thanks for having me. Thanks for shedding some light on our industry, mate. I appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for joining us on Brand. And we'll see you guys for the next episode.
Thanks, guys.